means the customer is losing money. You need to bring in the crane, that's money. A guy needs to operate the crane, that's money. So and mostly it's not close to a town. You know, it could be deep in the forest, in the middle of nowhere. So you don't want your products to feel. And especially, I don't know whether you follow this industry. There's a trend of going offshore for various reasons. But imagine that your turbine is 30 kilometers in the sea and it breaks down, and the weather is very rough. Maybe the boat cannot even go to the turbine and you cannot repair it. So reliability is a key, and that's why for us failure is not an option. We want to make it very reliable. Maybe before I go into the company structure, can you show the video? I have a typical marketing video, where they show more about Vestas. It takes about 3 minutes, but I thought it's good to show you guys.
Energy to light our homes, energy to drive our technologies, power our successes, energy for life. And our demand for energy is growing all the time, all across the globe. Looking ahead, this demand will only keep increasing. So as fossil fuels run out, this means looking for alternatives. It means looking for energy that's sustainable, that doesn't pollute, energy that won't damage the Earth, safeguarding our planet for future generations. Clean, pure, viable energy that's cost-effective and reliable on an industrial and global scale. It means harnessing the power of the wind. Generating electricity from the wind on behalf of our customers means making the most of a natural, plentiful, readily available resource found all over the world. It means moving away from our reliance on dwindling oil, gas, and coal supplies towards a dynamic energy source that isn't going to run out. But the world needs to move quickly to harness this potential. As pioneers in the development of wind systems, wind means the world to us. Over the last 30 years, Vestas has developed, manufactured, and installed more than 40,000 turbines in 65 countries across the world. A world where wind is taking its place alongside oil and gas as an efficient and competitive way to generate electricity. We combine our extensive experience as the only major energy company dedicated solely to wind power with the world's largest wind energy R&D center and the unmatched skills of over 20,000 people worldwide, ensuring the greatest, most sustainable return on investment for our customers. In partnership with all our stakeholders, our efforts across the globe continue to create jobs, stimulate economies, and drive further exploration into the power and the potential of the wind. We will not rest until wind is on a par with oil and gas, delivering future-proof energy for life. Wind, it means the world to us.
So I think that's also a summary of what I just told you now. So for us, wind it means the world to us because it is economical. It can fight with oil and gas in terms of price. It's fast, it's clean, and it's predictable. Once you know there's wind, a lot of weather stations can actually predict the wind. So you can actually guarantee a certain energy in production at certain sites. Okay, we go to the next slide. Here you can see more about the organizational structure of Vestas. We have production business units as well as sales business units, and we have two special strategic business units, which is, you can see in the bottom, that is technology R&D, where I'm under, and we also have a department called People and Culture, and in other companies actually call it Human Resource, but I thought it's nicer to call it People and Culture. We have 5 production business units, so each component mostly, you see the nacelle here, that's one production business unit. We have to place the towers, control systems, and spare parts and repair. And what you see here on the right, that's on the sales business units. So those are the ones who deal with the customers, those are the ones who go for tenders, those are the ones who mostly deal with the customers after the deal has been sealed. You can see here we have one Vestas Asia Pacific, and that's actually located here in Singapore as well. It's in the Harbourfront office. So they deal with all our customers all the way from India to Australia. Not China. China is a separate business unit. So the global research where I'm working for is located under the Vestas Technology R&D. Okay, go to the next slide. So here again, our presence around the world, and you can see we're everywhere. From the US, where we have manufacturing, we have R&D. We even in South America, we just opened an office in Chile. Sales office, we're in Africa. Of course, Europe is one of our important markets. I also have to say that it seems the European market is getting more and more saturated. And so a lot of business is moving to the US as well as to China. This is our biggest markets. India is a good market, and then of course we have Japan and Australia. Good, next slide. Okay, maybe to tell you something more about the products. Here I have one, which is called a V90. We call them V90. The V stands for Vestas, the 90 stands for the rotor diameter. So this area is 90 meters. I don't know if you have a feeling of dimensions, but I like this picture because you see the guy, it should be around 182 meters. So you can see what kind of structures actually you're dealing with. It's gigantic. And that has to, you have to understand that in terms of to do your research, a lot of solutions that you actually come up with might not even be possible. Maybe you work in the lab, say, hey, let's grow carbon nanotubes on the blades. Yeah, but I need a vacuum chamber. Yeah, but my blade is 44 meters, so forget it. It's not going to work. So, you have to understand your product, and that's why always when people join our company, we send them to Europe. Because, in Singapore, you will not understand how big the structure is, how complex. It looks very easy, You have 3 blades, a tower, and a nacelle, that's it. It looks very simple. But once you go into the details, it becomes a very complex system. Everything is interrelated. So I thought this picture is good. You see the guy standing here. Mostly we do inspection on top of the nacelle. So you have anemometers here that measure the wind direction, wind speed. This is the tower, of course. The nacelle houses the generator, the transformer, all the bearings and gearboxes. And here also you see the picture of the sea. This should be somewhere in Denmark. So that's a growing market. Maybe you go to the next slide. Okay, I told you already, installed 41,000. Total megawatts installed is about 40 gigawatts. The offshore market is growing. Maybe go to the next slide. Then you can show you some of the products that we have. So I was talking about the V90, which you see here. Our latest product is the V112. So that means 112 meter rotor diameter, which is 54 meter blades. And these blades are actually made in one piece. So you can imagine we have big molds in our factory. So they made it in one piece and shipped it out in one piece. And that's one of the challenges that we have, because you can make it bigger and bigger, no issue. But how are you going to transport a blade of 80, 90 meters on the road? If you go to Europe, I don't know whether you've been there, but you have a lot of roundabouts. How are you going to take a roundabout if your blade is 90 meters? There's no way you can go around it. So people have to come up with solutions. The Danes are smart. They make a roundabout where actually there's a road going to the center of the roundabout so that the blade can go through. But That might be in Denmark, but if you go to France, they won't do it for you. So you have to find alternative solutions. You can see that we have different wind classes. We call it IC3, 2 and 1, and that's related to the wind speed. Certain areas in the world you have high wind speeds, certain areas you have low wind speed. And we have found out that actually, you need to design different wind turbines specifically for that wind region. So we cover the whole range with different products. So we also have a V100, which is a 100-meter diameter rotor. So slightly different product. And the amount of energy that we generate could be ranging from 1.8 megawatts to 3. I mean, these are the flagship products. Of course, we still sell like V52s, V60s, V66, V80s, but these are the main ones. And you can see the trend goes from 80, 90, 100, and 112, and I'm sure you understand it will go bigger and bigger. Like competitors are now installing 126 meter rotor diameter, so it's going bigger and bigger. They're going to 60 meter blades, so it's likely that the market goes bigger and bigger. Next slide, please. Okay, maybe just a quick slide on the wind. Next slide. Here, I got this from actually a study done in France. I thought it's quite nice where they have a comparison based on cost, where wind stands. And you can see that we're doing pretty well. We're pretty low compared to our aim now is to go close to gas. Once we can compete with gas, we do pretty well. Maybe also put in perspective, you can see solar is still pretty expensive. So wind we find is a much better option. Next slide, please. And here also, if you want to drill oil, you have to do a survey. You have to set up your drilling station. You have to start drilling. You have to try here, try there. It takes a long time before you actually you have something. Same for solar. You need to set up a big solar factory. But for wind, we can install a turbine in a few months' time. We can be up and running for you. So that's we see also is a big advantage of the wind industry. Next slide. Okay, I get a lot of questions always when I do presentation. People say, okay, you are a renewable energy company, but you also spend energy making your products, and how does that relate to the benefits that I get from my turbine? Maybe I pump in a lot of energy, but actually you generate the same amount of energy. Well, we done some studies, and actually after about 7 months of production, we're actually already on par. So in 7 months, a turbine can generate as much energy as that we actually pump into the production of the turbine. So we're on the good side. It's pretty good. Next slide. Okay, maybe I want to talk more about Vestas technology, where I'm located on, and I think that's much more interesting for you guys. By the way, this is how we do video conferencing. It's not just a camera on your webcam. What you can see actually here is a table where they actually cut it off and they put big screens. So on the other side, somewhere in Europe, they have the same system. So when they dial in, it just looks like as if you're in the same meeting room, but they're sitting on somewhere else in the world. So with these kind of technologies, what we're trying to do is that you don't need to travel so much. You have the video conferencing system which allows you to work across different countries, across different continents, which is very useful. Next slide. So what we do in the R&D department is we want to deliver world-class products. And as I mentioned just now, our key focus point is reliability, and we want to reduce the cost of energy. And by cost of energy, we mean how much does the customer need to pay to generate, like for example, 1 megawatt of energy. So these are the key focus points, and all our technologies that we are developing in the technology R&D are addressing those two issues, bringing down the cost and increasing the reliability.